regular meeting. Go ahead with whatever we've got.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Additionally, even when members of the local legislative body are attending meetings in person, the local legislative body may make public meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically to all members of the public. Members of the public are encouraged to observe and participate in the teleconference.
And I guess I probably ought to turn the mic up. If attending Zoom, please have your microphones muted at all times when you're not speaking. All items on the agenda other than correspondence and board and staff member reports or consider items for which the board may take action. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on action items on the agenda when the item is heard, and comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual. Okay, let's see what we got here. Pledge of Allegiance. You want to lead that, John?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God. Supervisor Vasquez?
Here.
Supervisor Blazer is absent. Supervisor Fuhrer?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Here.
Supervisor Messick?
Here.
Okay. First item is consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. All right. Motion from the board.
Move to approve.
A motion. Out of a second.
No, second. Yeah.
We have a motion and second. Any comments from the public? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item being special presentations. Receive update on film Yuba-Sutter.
Good morning, supervisors, and for everybody. My name is Marnie Sanders, and I'm the CEO of the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce. And the Chamber of Commerce dove into this initiative to bring film Yuba-Sutter to the Yuba-Sutter community. And so we are now in year 2, and I stand before you today to say, first of all, thank you for supporting and investing in this great program for the Yuba-Sutter community. In the last year, we have been able to essentially build the infrastructure that is needed to start promoting the Yuba-Sutter community to the film industry. And this morning, we are actually going to have the presentation given by Sabrina Jurisic, who is a film commissioner. And she is the commissioner that we are contracting with through Upstate Film Commission that has been doing the majority, well, let's just face it, 99.9% of the work in bringing film Yuba-Sutter to the Yuba-Sutter community. And she has done a phenomenal job, and she'll be able to take you through all that's been accomplished in the last year and a look ahead to what the plans are for the next year. Just to recap how it was structured last year, I came to all of the jurisdictions and asked that you support bringing the Film Commission about at the level of $6,250. So that was Yuba County, Sutter County, the city of Yuba City, and the city of Marysville. The intention was to sort of build it from there, but just given where we're at with the infrastructure that we put together, and just, I think we just need to address the elephant in the room. Some of the the state of the economy, and we're just trying to be mindful of where we are in our progress and the things that are priorities in our community. So I feel really confident if we stay at the same level as we did last year, we can continue to build. The infrastructure is there now, and so now we're ready to really get out into the film industry and promote the Yuba-Sutter community. Right now, we have the support of the Yuba-Sutter Lodging Association at $25,000 for this year and another $25,000 next year. I did present to the city of Yuba City, I think it was last week, and they are going to be supporting at that $6,250 level again. And then I will be presenting to Marysville on the 7th of February, and then to Sutter County on the 14th of February. And I'm very confident that they will also support this project. And I have had a conversation with Kevin Malin, who has said it was okay to mention that this is something that at this level that the county can accommodate if you decide that this is a good initiative to be part of. And so with that, hopefully Sabrina is ready to jump in. She'll have a video to share that we put together that promotes the area, and she has been traveling around California promoting us. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sabrina.
Thank you so much, Marnie. And I definitely also want to thank you supervisors for your support last year. And we are going to start actually with a video that the FLICS, which is the Film Liaisons in California statewide, put together that just kind of overviews, again, the benefits of filming throughout the state. So we'll start with that, and then we'll go into all the local updates.
Did you know filmmaking in California matters to you? Whether you're a filmmaker, policymaker, or local business owner, the economic impact of filmmaking is impacting you. And FLICS is here to help you understand the economic benefits of filmmaking in our state. But we have to start at the beginning. So let's take it from the top. From the opening scene to the end credits, it takes people to create those happy endings. I'm talking jobs, but just how many jobs? Let's start with production, where the director's vision is created. Actors showcase their talent, but it's not only what you see on screen, it's who you don't. Production crews are hired for jobs ranging from animal wranglers to hauling gear or lighting. Actors need to embody the beauty of their characters. Well, yes, that sometimes takes a team to make them look dashing for the camera. This on-screen makeover adds even more jobs for hairstylists and makeup artists. Actors and talented crew typically work on set. Construction teams are often hired to build worlds, and that means building even more jobs. All that hard work requires replenishment with food and rest. Who benefits? Restaurants, local caterers, grocery stores, and places for lodging. And after several weeks and sometimes months of production work, it's time for more work. Welcome to post-production, where editors, sound mixers, music composers, and special effects artists do their thing. In 2021, all these production-related jobs in California added up to more than 860,000. Since the silent era, movies have been big business in California. Here is where Hollywood icons became legends. And California continues to be a place where filmmakers thrive. A key resource for California's film economy is the professional network of film offices across the state known as FLICS. In addition, the California Film Commission reports that over the last 5 years, California's tax credit program has generated nearly $22 billion in economic output, including 110,000 jobs, plus more than $7 billion in wages. And every tax credit dollar approved under California's tax credit program also produces more than $24 in output. The film and television industry is currently the second most economic driver in California. Movie productions bring around $49 billion to California's economy. This includes creating nearly 2.5 million job opportunities. California truly has it all, offering locations from deserts to snow-capped mountains, large cities to rural towns, and everything in between. Looking for locations, local crew, vendors, lodging referrals, permits for your next production? We are here to help.
On the statewide level, obviously, filming makes a huge difference in our economy, and our role as, a film commission is to help secure our community's part of that. So we want to help bring those jobs to the local community. So part of the ways that we do that, and part of what was happening this year with the infrastructure, was making sure that we were engaged in some of the main industry affiliations. So we're actually, Film Yuba-Sutter is recognized by the California Film Commission as the regional film partner for Yuba and Sutter counties. We're also under the umbrella of the Upstate California Film Commission, recognized with the Association of Film Commissioners International, and are an introductory member of Film USA. And these are places where we receive referrals and are able to, ensure that people recognize that there's somebody in the area that is dedicated and knowledgeable about servicing the industry. During this year, we've also established branding for Yuba-Sutter, or Film Yuba-Sutter. We've established social media, and we actually just launched a campaign. You'll start to see videos if you follow us on that from the location highlights that we did last year, and then also just we also compiled a series of photographs for various locations as well. So between the videos and the photography assets that we have, those are being shared to let people know some of the locations that they can find in the area. Again, we were representing, as Marnie said, at various locations and events throughout the year. Some of those included the Catalina Film Festival, Sonoma International Film Festival, the Association of Film Commissioners International Week in LA. That particular event, and actually all the events, we're meeting with filmmakers, we're meeting with studio execs, production, physical production lead people, and just networking, letting people know that we're there. And we, at the time of those events, we were still in development with the branding, but we did take the Visit Yuba-Sutter brochures to make sure that they could still get a sense of what the region was having to offer. I do also want to show you a video that we created. Now, this is the short version of the promotional reel. This would be something that if we were sponsoring an event, specifically Film Yuba-Sutter, we could place, or if we were doing social media campaigns, things like that. This is the 30-second video, but there is a longer version that actually features, it has Marnie in it, speaking on behalf of the chamber, and just, other people that are talking about how warm and welcoming it is to film in the area. But I'm going to just show you this one so you can get a sense of what we did for the locations.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Additionally, some of the other things that we had done for advertising, we're including Film Yuba-Sutter in our newsletter, and there's been some advertising campaigns with various industry magazines, Destination Film Guide, Creative Handbook. We have an overarching website, the Upstate California website, where each region that we feature is included. And so that is, there's highlights of locations on the homepage as well as links directly to the Film Yuba-Sutter website. We put together regular reports. Hopefully you are all receiving those reports. If not, please contact Marnie or myself. We would love to make sure that you're getting that information on a quarterly basis as to what's happening locally. But we're tracking, you know, the metrics that we have promised to track, including, you know, what types of productions are inquiring in our area, what's filming in the area, how that translates into room nights, local job hires, and things of that nature. Additionally, we did create and launch the Film Yuba-Sutter website, which has film-friendly locations, the videos that we compiled as well, all those photo assets. There's ways for local people that want to get listed to directly from the site create a listing, or locations that maybe want to be considered for production use to go on and submit their location as a site. And they can upload photos themselves as well. That helps us to be able to expand the offerings and makes it even more ideal for productions that are coming. We have designed a Film Yuba-Sutter brochure, and that will go with us as we make our way around the state representing. And, you know, we've also done, you know, historical review to see what productions have filmed in the area, and there is quite a rich history of filmmaking in the area. And so that is also featured on the website, which is something that productions like to see, historical filming activity. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry, do I need to stop? I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Okay, so our current contract agreement was $48,000 or $50,000, I suppose, for the year. We received $48,000, and the value of services that have been provided, had it been a standalone agency, would have been over $175,000. So there's a lot of value that is being put over this way, and these are basically the metrics that we've had for the last year. We are getting ready to actually have, we have 3 projects in pre-production that are feature films. We have a docuseries that's in the works, and we also have a web series that's scheduled to film as well. So this first year was really infrastructure build. These productions that have been coming, we were certainly hoping would happen in the second year, and we are seeing that that's coming. So very excited to see the industry's response to the expansion. And we're just hoping to continue to increase productions and the local economic impact, and we are hopeful for your support.
Any questions from the board? No.
On the video clip, what was that scratchy sound at the beginning and at the end?
It might have come across scratchy, perhaps on my laptop. There's kind of like a, it doesn't sound scratchy on the other side. It's just kind of like an introductory sound and an ending sound. But
Okay.
Yeah, it might have just been the translation between my computer screen and hopefully.
Okay, cool. Any further questions?
You can go to is it upstatefilm.com?
Upstatecafilm.com, or they can go directly to Film Yuba-Sutter as well.
You can see the full video.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any comments from the public? Okay. Special presentation received Clerk of the Board of Supervisors Department update. You know, too often we forget about the people behind the scenes, and there's some amazing changes that have happened in the supervisor's office in a very short time. So, all of that one, Mary.
I know, you put me on a spot here. Okay, seems like we're good to go. First of all, I am Mary Pacias, Clerk of the Board, as you all know. I want to go ahead and thank you all for letting me present. Also, I want to go ahead and introduce our staff. First, myself. We have 2 board clerks, Angela Jayberry, Natalie Allen, and then our new office specialist. I believe this is the first time that we've been fully staffed in a lot of years. And I've got to admit to you all, being here and doing this is intimidating. You know, I give my kudos to all department staff that have to do it because it is different. I deal with all of you on a regular basis, but this is different. So bear with me. So I'll go on to our next screen. Our next screen, what we all decided to share is our mission statement. And I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. It says that we want to provide to the county and its citizens professional and courteous service, prompt and efficient and easy access to information, and guidance through the process to facilitate open participation in the decision and policy-making processes of the County of Yuba. The reason I wanted to share that is because that is what our department, our team want to go ahead and provide for the public and for all. Next, who do we serve? We serve the public. We serve the Board of Supervisors. We serve Yuba County staff, partner agencies, and our grand jury. Board of Supervisors meetings. Currently, we have 23 scheduled meetings per year. What do? We receive and review all agenda items from county departments and partner agencies. We facilitate legal publications where necessary. We create proclamations as needed. After review and approval, of course, from our chair, vice chair, county council, and county administrator and risk management, our agenda is created. After we, of course, create our agenda packet, we go ahead and we put it out on the website for public access. We also clerk our meetings, as we now have Natalie here clerking the meeting. She's actually taking meeting notes, taking all the votes, and that is what she uses for minutes. Okay, after that, we process all paperwork, which includes scanning, copying, and distributing, of course, to all staff members. We retain and maintain all detailed records of the board's actions through our minutes and through our recordings. Meetings that the clerk of the board creates agendas for and clerks, it's actually 9. So we've got the Board of Supervisors, we've got Three Rivers Levee Improvement Authority, which is also known as TRILA. We have South Yuba Transportation Improvement Authority, which is known as SATIA. Countywide Oversight Board for Redevelopment for Successor Agencies, our City Selection Committee, our Public Facilities Corp, our Yuba Levy Finance Authority, our In-Home Supportive Services Public Authority, and of course, our Assessment Appeal Hearings. Agendas that we do create, but we do not clerk, are our liaison committee meetings. Those are our Linda liaison, Marysville, Wheatland, and Olivehurst Public Utility District, also known as OPUD. Administration, this is some of what we do. Customer service, we provide customer service through our emails, our front counter, our phones. We do a lot of data research for the public and for staff. Administrative, we schedule meetings, we reserve rooms, trainings, conferences. As needed, we schedule all reservations. We maintain our clerk of the board and our Board of Supervisors websites. We maintain and keep our conflict of interest for Yuba County, which includes special districts, water, irrigation, fire, cemetery, reclamation districts, and schools. And of course, we also provide to the state our yearly mandated notices. Finance, we maintain the budget for the 3 accounts, which is clerk of the board, Board of Supervisors, and grand jury. We do accounts payables, receivables, and payroll. Yuba County claims for damages. We receive and maintain all those records. Boards, committees, and commissions. Currently, we have 30 active boards, committees, and commissions, which we maintain all records current and up to date on our data on our website, and that is all out there for public consideration. Assessment appeals. We have assessment appeals hearings. In 2022, we received 24 appeals were filed. We've had 2 hearings, one in September, one in October, and our plan is to have another one in March or early April. Screen looks pretty busy. This is all our hard copy resolutions, minutes, ordinances. Currently, all of our resolutions, minutes, and ordinances are in our database, which is known as Questies LSX. That is where we are now. We have all of these records placed from 1970 up until 2023. Our agenda packets from 2005 to 2017 were created in Questies, so they're already there. Our packets from 2018 to current 2023 are done by our agenda management system, which is Provox. And I've got to give a special thank you to my predecessors, Donna Sotomayor and Rochelle Ferris, because they are the ones that went with this agenda management system that has made it really simple to use. Having gone to conferences, it was determined that we are the county that has the best agenda management system now, because everyone has issues. I was able to report that we are doing very well with our agenda management system. Agendas and backgrounds, that is one of our focus that we're trying to do, is the ability to put all of our agendas and packets in our database, because with that, if we need to find anything, we don't have to go upstairs to storage. We can go ahead and look for it there in our data management system. All records from 1850 to 2020 are already on microfiche. That is something that is mandated, so we are current on that. I'm pretty sure some of you have seen our books. These are our historical records dating from 1850 to 1970. All of our minutes, ordinances, all of our records are binded and preserved, and all up until 1970 only. Updates. Of course, we have our new office space because of our new team shown here on our Yuba County website. For view, we have our minutes are out there from 2003 all the way to 2022, and our resolutions are also available for view from 2015 to 2023, and we're hoping to be current on all of our records out on the website. What we have coming forward, our intention is to go ahead and also make available our ordinances on the website. That is our intention. We haven't started yet, but that is something that we're hoping to be able to accomplish. Second is preserve and bind our records from 1970, hopefully to 2025. So that's something that we're also hoping, and I looked at Kevin right directly. And of course, we want to continue to scan all of our past agendas and documents to make it easy and to make it available. And lastly, I just want to say that we're looking forward to our live video stream. I do want to mention that actually at today's meeting, we are currently have a live video stream going, which we're hoping it goes through entirely well. So like that, it will be available at our next board meeting. So we'll see how it goes. That is all I have for today. Any questions that I could answer?
Any questions from the board?
No questions, but just a quick comment. Thank you, Mary, to you and your team for all you do to support the Board of Supervisors and our board meetings and committees and commission meetings and things like that. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you. I will make sure the team is hearing. So of course they know that without them, it couldn't have been accomplished.
Well, any questions from the public? Okay, thank you very much, Mary, and thank you very much for your hard work. All right, public communication. I'll let you go ahead and read this.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. If you are participating via Zoom and wish to comment, please use the raise hand function or *9 if participating on a phone. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have 2 requests to speak cards and no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, go ahead with the first one.
Tommy Farley.
Good morning.
Start the timer.
I'm 25 from South City, Sutter County, California, 95901. Here to thank all government officials for your service. Thank you for your public service, including Andy, Gary, Seth, Dawn, Kevin, Nick, the county council right there. Yeah, and also everybody. Don't forget, okay, county council, you got the law library trustee board. I want to see a copy of that board, library board trustee. Yeah, I know the county council right there. It's nice. Thank you for your service, government officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tom McWhorter.
Good morning, supervisors, Yuba County. My name is Tom McWhorter. I live in Olivehurst, California. And I hadn't planned on this, but the matter arose this morning. The Brown Act allows board supervisors to prevent public use of chamber viewing screens. I ran into this morning with the clerk, and I was under one impression, and apparently it was incorrect, and that my pictures will not be allowed to be displayed on the screens. I'm a resident of this county. I pay the taxes, and I followed the clerk's instructions, and you've all received the pictures that she has concerning the issue involving Olivehurst. Well, part of that talking to you is also to educate the public. They don't have the benefit of viewing the pictures as you have. Now, there are 2 pictures on the county website right now that anybody can view, 2 black and white pictures. I send each one of you about 15 color pictures, and then it would have a proper impact if the public were allowed to view them on screens and computer systems that we paid for. Now, from Mary, I went to county council, and I said, hey, how can you guys prevent me, Joe Blow, taxpayer, from using a screen which I pay for? I sent my pictures to the clerk via the computer system. They've been all vetted through their IT system. County council tells me that the Brown Act allows you, because apparently, currently, since we use Zoom, a Chinese Communist Party product, not an American-made product, to communicate with the outside world during COVID. Well, the Brown Act's been in place a lot longer than COVID was here. So I think you guys need to revisit this policy of preventing the public residents of this county from utilizing the tools that we pay for. Prior to COVID, what was the excuse given then to prevent me from showing these pictures? Now, obviously, they're not of pornographic nature. The clerk's seen them, you've all seen them, but they have a greater impact when the public can see them in all their glory. Thank you for your time.
All right. We'll direct staff later. Any further comments? Nope, no more cards?
No more.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom. County departments, probation. Approve agreement with NCIC. Isn't that a television show? Inmate communications for free voice communications for youth being held at the Tri-County Rehabilitation Campus. Is this something new? Sort of.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Matt Riccardi with probation. So for many years, our juvenile institutions has maintained a telephone system which allows the incarcerated youth to maintain contact with their families. With a few exceptions, the youth and their families have been primarily responsible for paying the cost of these phone calls. In September, Senate Bill 1008 came into effect, was signed into law, which now requires all the California youth detention facilities to actually pay for these services instead of the families. We went through admin services and the proper procurement processes, obtained our 3 quotes, and NCIC M8 Communications was selected as our vendor. NCIC happens to be a company that we've already been in contract with. We already have phones installed, and they've been providing services in the institutions already. The difference now will be that the county is paying for it versus the youth and their families paying for it. The rates for these calls vary depending on the call type, but we estimate it'll be a ceiling of about $7,200 annually for Yuba share of cost, and pursuant to the joint powers agreement with Sutter, Calusa, and Yuba counties, they would pay their percentage as well. So for Yuba share, it's up to $7,200 annually. We appreciate the board's time and request approval to enter into the agreement with NCIC M8 Communications for us to now pay for these services pursuant to this new mandate. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Yes, sir. Okay.
You couldn't hear what he said.
All right. You want to? I didn't understand that. So if you can speak closer to the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sorry. We. Yeah. So you get to go do it again.
All right. See if I can keep it the same.
Just make sure you keep it up
All right.
close to it, please.
So Matt Riccardi with Probation Department. So for many years, our juvenile institutions has maintained a telephone system which requires youth and their families to pay for phone calls. With a few exceptions, the county's paid during COVID. We've had video calling where we've actually paid for that, but mostly the youth have been responsible for that. New Senate Bill 1008 came into effect. So now effective January 1st of this year, the county is required, the youth detention facilities are required to pay for these costs. We got with admin services, we went through the proper procurement process, and NCIC M8 Communications was selected as our vendor. NCIC will provide a secure youth telephone system, which will meet our needs and ensure compliance with this new mandate. The calling rates vary depending on the call type, but we anticipate the costs will fall under or up to $7,200 annually for Yuba share a cost pursuant to the joint powers agreement with Sutter and Calusa counties. We appreciate the board's time and request approval to enter into the agreement with NCIC M8 Communications pursuant to this new mandate.
Any questions?
I'll second.
Okay, a first and a second. Any further questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All right, bring it back to the board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the measure passes. Thank you very much. I'm sure the youth will appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Ordinances and public hearing. I want to go.
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Okay. Before we get started, Tom, please stick around for the supervisor comments. We're going to talk about doing something for you. All right. Item 5, 2023 Community Development Services Ordinance, hold public hearing, waive first reading, and introduce ordinance creating Chapter 10.12 expedited permit process for electric vehicle charging stations of the Yuba County Ordinance.
Morning, Chair, members of the board, Jeremy Strang with the Building Department. As you read in, the proposed ordinance before you today codifies the procedures for an expedited permit process for electric vehicle charging stations here in Yuba County. As discussed in my staff report, 2 assembly bills drove this ordinance. They mandated, in fact, that local agencies develop a process and adopt an ordinance for these charging stations to assist in achieving the state's goals of reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving the state's air quality. The state's objective was to remove potential barriers and increase the availability of charging infrastructure to help drive deployment of zero emission vehicles. I would submit to your board that our building department does a great job, and we're currently, our practice is for permit issuance already meeting those goals and objectives that the state points out. We have technical staff that are available to meet with the public prior to submittal, during the approval process, and after the fact. One of the requirements is that a checklist also be created, which we have done, and we will deploy that both in paper and online for our customers. And we have an online portal now, EnerGov, as you're aware, that will accept applications, plans, and signatures digitally to expedite the approval process. So again, in summary, this proposed ordinance put in timeframes for approvals and permit issuance. It provides for exceptions from that process, and also some powers and duties of the building official that are specific to the process. Because this ordinance is state mandated, in essence, we bypass the Land Use and Public Works Committee. And with that, I'm recommending that your board waive the first reading and introduce this ordinance creating Chapter 10.12 of the Yuba County Code.
Okay.
For any questions.
We need to open the public hearing. Any questions from the board? No. Any questions from the public? I think we're the state's a day late and $1 short in this, but as usual.
I'll second.
Okay, a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Oh, got to close the public hearing. I'm sorry. Roll call. Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Here, yes.
Supervisor Blazer is absent. Supervisor Fuhrer.
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Thank you, board.
Okay. Thank you. Correspondence. Go ahead. If you can read the correspondence.
The board may direct any item of informational correspondence to a department head for appropriate action. Correspondence item 13, 2023, receive email from Tom McWhorter regarding concerns in Olivehurst, California.
Good morning, board. My name is Tom McWhorter, and as stated previously, I live in Olivehurst, California. My supervisor here is Seth Fuhrer, and I have a real good relation, and I think the rest of you as well. I know sometimes I pop off like a cork, but I don't use adult language there. So I'm here to discuss with you the annual flooding that takes place in Olivehurst. Roads and houses incur flooding into the main structure and garages every year since approximately 1955. So if I'm asked to be patient and wait one more time, I may pop off a cork again with a little more stronger adult language, because for 67 years, we in Olivehurst, the older portion, have had to put up with drainage ditches. This was what was built back then. Since then, pretty much everybody's held their feet to the ordinances requiring curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. And apparently we've been forgotten for 67 years. And it's kind of time for us to get our ditches cleaned. I'm not asking you to provide any money for building something new. You always want to build something new, and then 5 years later, it's forgotten. There never once, to my knowledge, has ever been a maintenance program to maintain the hydraulic flood capacity of the drainage ditches in Olivehurst. As you've seen in the pictures that I sent to the clerk and she passed on to you, and that I would like to have posted on our nice screens here. We've got this flooding and the ditches are not getting cleaned out. In fact, oftentimes, most recently within the last 90 days, I had the pleasure of watching Public Works clean out one of those ditches when a resident, unknown, decided to fill in the ditch without a pipe so they could have a flat driveway into their property. This, of course, naturally creates a dam, and that causes flooding. Now, I don't know why the engineers didn't build these flood containment ponds that everything drains into. That's something new, something shiny. I'm not even going there. I just want Yuba County to take care of their responsibility when they adopted the approval of the Baugh subdivision, that, hey, these are on public land. This is to remove water from our properties. And it's not been maintained for 67 years. I think most of you gentlemen have pretty good sidewalks, curbs, and gutters in your general area of residence. I don't know where you live. Some people live out in the farm. Okay, that's by choice. It's not a subdivision. But I would like you to consider adopting a maintenance program. From Public Works, it was stated to me verbally, it would take about $500,000 to $1 million to clean out what we got. But once you get it up to where it was in 1955, it shouldn't even cost $25,000. Inflation, granted, but if they had maintained it, it would have been a lot less annual damage to everybody's goods and property in their driveways. As the ground settles, water flows toward the low point. That's my neighbor's garage. And so, you have to put everything on a pallet. And it's all because the drains are not being maintained. So if you would please, at your next meeting, please consider cleaning them out.
All right, Tom.
But
We're time's up.
is it? Do I have
yeah.
a time limit? I was never so informed.
3 minutes? 3 minutes time.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I've had plenty of time to be informed of this by the clerk, so.
What I wanted you to stick around for was we're going to ask that staff get together with you and let you know where you are on the Richter scale, because
If I could, through the chair,
Okay.
what I'd recommend is, if the board so chooses, to direct Mr. McWhorter's email correspondence to the Public Works Department for follow-up, and then for the Public Works Department to present back to the full board with a report out on drainage activities. We do have an annual drainage budget. It's well over $1 million a year that the county invests into drainage maintenance and operations. I think it would be good for the board and the public to hear how those public dollars are being invested annually. That's a county-wide budget. And then the Public Works Department can address specifically how that investment's being made in the community of Olivehurst.
So in reference to that, specifically when the Public Works Department does their presentation, if it can include Mr. McWhorter's photos to show what the problems are, and you guys can coordinate with Mr. McWhorter to make sure those photos are included in the presentation, that would be fantastic. You guys recently, I think, took care of a couple issues for me when I had citizens during this last storm that had issues. I know Okmulgee is also a focal area of problem with flooding, and I think there was another one I sent to you. So if those areas can be included, his photos can be included in your presentation, that would be fantabulous.
all right. One of the things that we've danced as fast as we can. We live within our budget. The state can steal it. The feds can print it. We just got the conversion to cell power. It's 2016. It's freed up a number of funds, and we've worked very hard. And I've been around since 2009, and Olivehurst has always been flooded and been short of everything, but we just didn't have the money to do it. And I understand that you want things done, and we're dancing as fast as we can within the budget. So when he comes up with the plan, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what we're doing, and hopefully we can get get you an actual date of when they might do something.
Because I know my street is not on the current 5-year plan, and 5 more years is unreasonable.
Okay.
Well, 67.
Let's
clarify further, if I may,
get the information together from Public Works and see where they're at.
To clarify further, there's just now been an increase in the funding. Is that right? And so,
yeah.
And so there is now going to be more money for that specific purpose. And this is not part of the sidewalks program that I'm also super excited about. This is going to be exactly what you've been talking about. The hydraulic.
Maintain what we build.
Absolutely.
Don't buy new cars just because we have a flat tire.
You know, it's back in 2009, I was standing beside some areas in Olivehurst that had telephone poles sticking up, and half of the telephone pole had base had washed away. Yeah. And it was something we couldn't do anything about. So we're doing, but let's see what Public Works can come up for you. Okay.
I hope that gets done within, I think 12 months is a very good time frame. Thank you.
Well, we'll see. All right.
Make a motion.
Board.
I don't think there's a motion necessary.
Just direct.
We don't need motion, do we?
Can't be a motion.
We direct to staff.
All right.
Okay.
And they're going to include Mr. McWhorter's photo.
At least some of them.
Some of them.
Anyone that doesn't have makeup.
All right. Board and staff member reports. Seth, go at it.
So as I mentioned, I had a great interaction. 3 houses down, guy comes knocking on my door 7 or 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Flooding's about to hit his house. He's been flooded multiple times. Immediately called Public Works. Sam got out there. Garbage had clogged one of the drains. They got rid of the garbage. The water flowed. His house did not flood. So mad props to Sam. Thank you. And then there's been some other instances where we've called it in and you guys have been on the ball dealing with it. So thank you very much. I appreciate in the storm, there's lots of things going on, lots of trees getting knocked over. Oh, that was another one. A pole fell over on a church. They got out there. They were able to fix it. Great job. Really appreciate the work they're doing. The food bank has moved their location. I have to talk to them this week to see how it worked out. Been a little bit mobile lately, so have to pay attention to the website to see where the food bank is going to deliver next. The next plan for the bus system looks very interesting. It's going to be an Uber model. So we're going to go down to one large route fixed, and everything else is going to be mini buses on demand. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Okay. Gary?
Morning, couple items. First, I wanted to thank staff from community development last night for participating in a community meeting at Arboga Elementary regarding concerns about traffic in that area during student drop off and pickup. They've had roughly a 50% increase in enrollment in recent years, and it's quite the traffic concerns down there. And so the school district hosted a meeting. And so the county is certainly in conversation with the school district on potential opportunities that we can partner to address that. And I know the county's already tried applying for some grants and will continue to look for funding to help with that. Also, in relation to the item on film Yuba-Sutter, for those who may be unaware, there's a show called Engineering on the Edge, and they were recently in Yuba County and filmed some work on replacing targets on New Bullards Bar Dam. They rappel off the edge, and there's some great footage of the area and of New Bullards Bar. That's if you have Discovery Science Channel, you might be able to find that on demand, episode 6. If you don't have Discovery Science Channel, like I don't, you can purchase the episode for $2.99 on Apple TV or on Amazon Prime. So anyway, thanks.
John?
Well, I would also like to thank Public Works because during the recent storms and flooding, I also had a lot of calls from District 5 and they were jumped right on it. So, and I'm glad to hear there's that much money. So I'm guessing 82% of that funding will go to District 5.
Nice try, Josh. Nice try. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay. All right. I saw the Engineering Edge with both the Forest Hill Bridge and those of you who've gone from Auburn to Cool. It's a great drive, especially if you have a tiny sports car. It gets dangerous, but these guys have guts to be able to do that. And you never really get an idea of what the dam height is until you see some of those pictures from drones. And I got a little sweaty just watching them go down the face of that map. Just one bad move. Anyhow, Mary did a presentation and she forgot to tell you that the number of grand jury people that she has this year is 19. So it's kind of blown up as having more volunteers than we expected on that. And there's a couple articles that I run across on the radio show, and one of the biggest concerns is that the aftermath of COVID, and a lot of articles have come out, and a lot of facts have come out, and I'm kind of curious as to what our statistics were, what the deaths were, and what actually, how many people actually died of COVID or with COVID. That's a question I've asked before, and that's a question that apparently the Washington Times has done quite an article on it, and it shows that we kind of overreacted a little bit, and hindsight's 2015. But I'd like to find out what those statistics really were. All right, Kevin.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring to the board's attention 2 items. These will be future action items. The first one will probably be a series of actions, and that has to do with department. That the ICE contract, just for reference. My light go away. There we go. The ICE contract for reference. It's been a contract that the county has had to accommodate their detainees for the past 30 years. That contract going away for next fiscal year, as far as a revenue loss, results in over $8.5 million in revenue loss for the Sheriff's Department, which is essentially a revenue loss, for the county as a whole. To kind of put in perspective, our overall county discretionary funding is just over $40 million. So you're talking a very significant revenue loss for next fiscal year that all departments are kind of working to find a solution to. Now, there will be a bit of a revenue increase associated with another federal contract that the Sheriff's Department's put in place for the Marshals Service that'll fill some of that gap, but we're still going to have a significant gap next fiscal year that I'm working actively with all the departments on to not only, I don't know why my light keeps going out. So Natalie, are you playing around with that light over there? Yeah, subtle hint. Yeah, exit stage left. Yeah. So, anyways, but I just wanted the board to be aware that there will be a series of actions. Luckily, or not so luckily, the county has been struggling to retain a workforce and fully fill all of our positions. So we've been running a pretty significant vacancy rate for the last couple of years. And really, I think that vacancy rate will play out here where we're going to need to continue to leave positions vacant and or delete positions in order to kind of reset our workforce sizing relative to this new fiscal reality with our new revenue thresholds that we have. So I wanted the board to be aware of that we're actively working towards solutions to make sure that there's no impact to the services to our communities, but at the same time, we live within our new fiscal means. The other issue, and it kind of ties into this with priorities, we're making a push this year to update the county strategic plan. That strategic plan was adopted by the board in 2009. So it's a good time to kind of reflect on our as an organization, our priorities, our focus, and what we want to accomplish as an organization, in the near term and long term. So that'll be a project that will engage the board as it progresses this year.
So as part of our strategic plan, we can put that we're going to be a smaller, more limited form of government because of the lack of funding. Going to Davis too long.
But the fiscal reality is going to drive the need to be a smaller government. Yes.
Nothing from us, Mr. Chair.
No, thank you.
All right. Let's see, we're gonna go into closed session. We've got two items, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code 549569D1 HJ versus Yuba County. Existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1 workers' compensation claim, Heather Sindhu. We also have a cost accounting at 1:30. All right.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe, with lessons in person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps, horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe.